Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. We're now joined by head softball coach Brittany Bennett. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
We were able to sit down and preview your team at the end of last month, but a lot has happened since then, so let's get the viewers caught up on your season. The Braves are now 9-4 so far, with all 13 games this season being played at home. Give us a progress report on your team and some of the things that you've been impressed with.
Well, I think I need about an hour to tell you all the things I've been impressed with, so I'll try to keep it short. But this team's young, and we have a good mix of old and young. And I think for us, we're trying to learn who we are right now, and we're trying to figure out how to defend our home field, and we're trying to figure out how to win when we're behind, and we're trying to figure out how to come back in late innings, and we're also trying to figure out how to win when the score is tied or close going into the seventh inning. You know, we've had an extra inning game. We've had one or two run game. We've had blowouts, and so we're just trying to figure out who we are right now. I'm really proud of them so far and the effort they've put in and the fact that they don't give up, and that's something that you can always say about a good team is that they keep fighting. We tend to do better when we're behind, so that's been kind of interesting for my gray hair, but we are a very good competitive team that continues to fight even when we're down.
Well, your squad opened up the season with 2 tough losses on day 1 of the UNCP Invitational, but responded with 8 straight wins to get off to the program's best start in a decade. The Braves are hitting .325 as a team and score about 6 runs a game and have already had a pair of Mercy Rule wins this year. Has it surprised you how good your offense has been, especially with so many new faces on the field?
Well, I think every time you start a new season, you're always kind of surprised of where you're at. I don't think that's ever a question that you just wake up and say, hey, I think this is what we're going to be this year. We were a little bit ahead of schedule is what I thought we were going to do in the box this year, but I've also had a lot of growing up in our 13 games. So I think we had some nerves early on. You know, I don't know who loses their first 2 games and then wins 8 games in a row, but that was extremely fun. And that's momentum, and momentum helps a lot in a baseball or softball season because it's such a long season. And I think offensively we're trying to get it done. We know what our job is to do at the plate, and I feel like we're a lot more disciplined this year. I think sometimes we try to execute what we're trying to do a little bit too aggressively, so as we get more patient in the box, we're starting to put better balls in play.
Well, let's talk about some of those new faces. 6 of your top 8 hitters are freshmen, including Taylor Gerhardt and Jamie Johnson, who have also anchored down the left side of your infield as well. Talk about those 2 players and the potential that they have at UNCP.
Well, who doesn't love freshmen in the lineup? I love them sometimes, and sometimes I throw my hands up at them. But, you know, these kids came in, those 2 kids are, I could talk about them all day. 2 of the hardest workers I have, and I was just listening to Coach Miller talk about what they mean in the classroom as well. So I've got 2 kids that are really good in the classroom who give me max effort on the field. What's more to ask of them? They're going to make mistakes, but together they're starting to find their stride, and they're starting to figure out who can get to what. And I'm really impressed with their efforts so far. What I like about them the most is that they want to learn. When you have kids that come in and ask for help and ask for extra or take ground balls or hit extra balls after practice, that makes us healthy, and it makes other people get on board, and those kids work really hard, and I'm just really proud of them. It's a long season, so they still are going to have to work through it, and I think they were a little nervous for their first conference game, but if they continue to make adjustments like they are, they're going to have a really good career here.
Well, nestled amongst those top 8 hitters are 2 of your captains, Whitney Jackson and All-American Bree Hartley. With all those new players on your team, have you noticed those 2 stepping up a little bit as the 2 older players on the field?
You know, interesting that you say that they're veterans, because I've always thought they were veterans. I know Whitney was only a sophomore last year and Bree was only a junior, but I felt like they've been playing like seniors for a long time. You know, as a coach, there's people that you go through your lineup and you just always know they're going to get it done, and if they don't get it done, it's not something that they weren't trying to do. So with Whitney being in the leadoff, you know, she gets on base almost every other time. I don't know how more successful she could be, you know, giving us an opportunity every inning that she's up to bat trying to get on. And then Bree, you know she's going to hit it long, and if she gets underneath it, it's still going to be a long fly ball, which gives us a chance to score. But those kids, you know, they want to play ball. They come with the most fiery attitude you could ever imagine. You know, they're trying to bring the young kids along, and they're trying to guide them, and they each have a different group of kids that they're surrounded with, usually at practice, so I like what they do in groups. But Bree and Whitney, I mean, I could speak about them all day. They're just really, really good kids, and I'm really proud to be their coach.
All right, well, we're going to take our next commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to continue talking softball with head coach Brittany Bennett, so stay tuned.